Hi everyone, this is Mr. Seymour again, and this week we're going to be looking at Chapter 4 in your textbook, which deals with civil liberties. Now, your author begins this chapter by reminding us that the American Republic was founded on the ideal of people having basic freedoms and rights. Those freedoms that government cannot limit or restrict are called negative liberties because of the way that they keep the government from limiting our basic freedoms, which are more commonly known as civil liberties. These include speech, press, religion, assembly, petition, protest, as well as protections from unjust prosecution, illegal search and seizures, cruel or unusual punishment, and other procedural rights and protections that we have commonly come to rely upon and to cherish as American citizens. The debate over civil liberties was central to the debate over the adoption of the Constitution itself, which was originally written but did not expressly prohibit or protect citizens' civil liberties. Despite some concerns about delineating people's civil liberties, the Federalists ultimately agreed to create a Bill of Rights, which was adopted in 1789 as the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. This chapter begins with the recent Standing Rock protest against the construction of a Dakota Access Pipeline in South Dakota, which would run an oil pipeline under the bodies of water with potential effects on the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation and all others living downstream. This case is illustrative of civil liberties, especially protest and speech, and of those involving protections for people who have been accused of crimes. The chapter further discusses how civil liberties described in the Bill of Rights have largely come to be applied to individual states through the gradual and deliberative case-by-case process that we know as selective incorporation. The remainder of the chapter further discusses the civil liberties in the Bill of Rights and in some detail, and discusses important Supreme Court cases which have been used to expand and strengthen the basic individual rights that we as citizens depend upon. Throughout your textbook and the modules included in this unit, examples are used to remind you that all liberties are constrained by some limits and that our basic freedoms should never be taken for granted. After reading and reviewing this chapter, you should be able to define civil liberties and understand the key role that they play in American political life, to describe civil liberties as they're outlined in the Constitution and the amendments to it, and the process by which they have been incorporated to the states, to explain the First Amendment protections granted to religion especially, outlining the First Amendment protections concerning freedom of expression, summarizing civil liberties that are extended to those accused of crimes in the Bill of Rights, and to understand the role of the 9th and 10th Amendments that they play in shaping and protecting freedoms in our nation and across our states. Besides our weekly discussion question, you will also have your first exam this week, which will cover chapters 1 to 3 in your textbook. As with all exams that you will take in this class, you're welcome to use any notes as well as your textbook to help you as you respond to the questions, as this is open material. Just not open each other, please. I have also included some study links and resources to help you, which are included in Blackboard, as you prepare for the exam, and I encourage you to use them to get ready. In particular, I've given you links to the study-made activities, which basically will go over the vocabulary with you, let you do some practice games, give you some basic facts, and let you attempt some practice questions. Now, it's very important that you understand that besides the traditional multiple choice questions, you will find 2 essay questions on this assessment. One of these will be marked as mandatory, meaning I expect that you will answer that question, and it counts for 20 points on the exam. The other is an extra credit question for an additional 20 points. This means that you can score up to 120 points on the assessment. Please use your most professional writing skills. Make sure that you write in complete sentences and paragraphs. You should have about 2 to 3 paragraphs in each of your responses. These are not short answer. These are essay. I encourage you to respond to that extra question credit, as it can only help you. It cannot take any points away from you. And I do give points for attempting the question. It doesn't have to be perfect. You'll be given 2 attempts on the exam, with the best of the 2 scores being recorded in your grade book. So please take advantage of those. I wish all of you a really good week of learning, and as always, I encourage you to reach out and ask any questions by way of the course messages and the email, and I will make myself available to you on Monday and Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for an hour each day, so that if you need help, you can go online to the virtual office hours in Blackboard and reach out for any assistance, and I'll be live. Please take advantage of those. Most of you don't, but please take advantage of those. If you have questions or concerns, I expect that you're going to participate. I want to see everybody participating as much as possible, because I usually go over and give you some assistance, give you some suggestions, and walk you through examples on how to do things each week. So I really would like to see more of you participate in the live sessions. Okay, that should take care of everything for this week. And I encourage everybody to do your best in preparing for and attempting the exam, as well as the discussion questions. You guys are doing a great job, and keep up the good work. Have a great week.